A long time ago, in the highlands of Tibet, there was a poor man named Tashi. He owned 3 yaks, not a house made of stone, not lawn by the river. 3 yaks. They were everything he had. His food, his trade, his reason to wake before sunrise. One morning, they were gone. Tashi moves fast through the images, checking behind rocks, calling out, climbing ridges. The narration doesn't rush. He searched the first mountain, nothing. He searched for the second, nothing. By the 3rd mountain, the searching had changed into something else. It was no longer just looking. It had become a fire. He was furious at the yaks for wandering, furious at himself for not tying them properly, furious at the mountain for being so large and so empty. The anger was not one thing, it was everything moving through him like a wind that had no place to go. Tashi rounds a ridge and stops. There was a monk sitting on a flat stone near the edge of a drop, looking out at the valley below, completely still, not searching for anything, not going anywhere. Tashi almost passed him, but something in the stillness of the man felt like an insult to everything Tashi was carrying. He stops. He asks, "Old man, did you see 3 yaks pass this way?" The monk turns slowly, looks at Tashi the way someone looks at a river, not judging the direction, just noticing the current. "I have been sitting here since dawn. I saw no yaks." "Then you are useless to me," Tashi says, and starts to walk away. "You are moving very fast," the monk says. For a man who has not yet found what he's looking for. Tashi stops, turns back. Tashi says he has no time to sit and talk. The monk says, "Your anger is already slowing you down more than this conversation will." That stops Tashi, because it is true. He has been on this mountain for hours and found nothing. He sits, not because he wants to, because his legs are tired and his chest is tight, and the monk is right. The monk asks him, "When did you notice the anger? Before you started searching or after?" Tashi thinks, "After, when I found the rope untied." "And now, does the anger feel the same as it did then?" Tashi looks inward for the first time all morning. "No, it is heavier, like it picked up more on the way." The monk nods. "That is how it works. You did not just carry your anger up these mountains. Your anger carried you. It chose the direction. It set the pace. You were not searching for yaks. You were being driven by something you do not yet have a name for." "What name?" The monk does not lecture. He asks questions. "Tell me, when the yaks were gone, your first feeling was anger. But underneath the anger, was there something else? Something that came before the fire?" Tashi is quiet. Then, "Fear. I was afraid." "Afraid of what?" "That I cannot survive without them." "That is the second poison," the monk says quietly. "Attachment. You are so tied to what you have that the thought of losing it turns immediately into rage. You did not just lose yaks this morning. In your mind, you lost everything before you had searched a single mountain." Tashi opens his mouth to argue. The monk continues gently. "There is a third one, beneath even that. The reason the anger and the fear both hit so hard. Do you know what it is?" Tashi shakes his head. "You do not know who you are without those 3 yaks. Your whole sense of yourself is resting on them. When they vanished, something in you said, 'Without this, I am nothing.' That is the deepest poison. Not anger, not attachment, not even fear. It is the forgetting of who you actually are." A long silence over the image of the 2 men in the wide valley. Ancient teachers called these 3 the root poisons, not because they make you a bad person, but because every suffering, every fire you have ever felt, has one of these three at its root: anger pushing away, attachment holding on. And beneath them both, a forgetting, the monk stands, points down into the valley with a quiet certainty. The eastern pasture, where the river bends. That is where yaks go when they are not being driven. They go where there is water and grass and no one rushing at them. Tashi stares at him. How do you know? Because I have been sitting here since dawn. And because I was not angry. Tashi goes. He finds the yaks exactly where the monk said. All three, calm, grazing by the river bend. Tashi stands with his yaks, the mountains, the wide sky. He found his yaks that day, but he also found something he had not gone looking for. The first clear look at a fire he had been feeding his whole life without knowing it. The monk had a name for what Tashi felt, moving through him on that mountain. He called it Lang, wind. The ancient teachers of Tibet believed that anger is not just a feeling, it is an energy, a wind that rides through you looking for a channel. And if you don't know it is there, it drives you. You think you are searching, but the wind is choosing the direction. Tashi did not become a different man that afternoon. He still had the quick fire in him, but now he knew its name. And knowing the name of a wind is the first step toward learning how to ride it instead of being carried. What wind has been carrying you today? And where has it been trying to take you?